We're going to have 4 presenters making these presentations on various functions of the department. I'll start. My name is Apsd Presentation, Principal Research Officer, Kenya Building Research Center. The State Department for Public Works, which is under the bigger Ministry for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, and Urban Development. The theme for this year's presentation is building forward a better reimagining the public service through digitization. I want to go straight into the presentation, but the presentation structure will take the form of introduction, vision, mission, functions, and then the gist of the presentations will be on building research services, jetties, seawalls, and footbridges, development and management of government buildings, and then lastly, design services offered within the State Department. Quickly to run through the introduction, the State Department for Public Works was created through an Executive Order number 1 of June 2018, and its mandate is to develop policy, coordinate all matters related to construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of public buildings. The State Department applies quite a lot of technology in its mandate, and we are going to run you through to see some of the technologies that we put in place. So the mission for the State Department is to facilitate provision, construction, and maintenance of quality government buildings and other public works for sustainable socio-economic development. The vision is to achieve and sustain excellence in construction and maintenance of public buildings and other public works. The mandate is wide, but we've decided to highlight only 6, and majorly it is to work on policy, public works policy and planning, building research services, development and management of government buildings, and so on as indicated on the screen. Let me go to the building research services, which is one of the key functions of the State Department. And here, it is domiciled under the Kenya Building Research Center, which is one of the departments within the State Department. This center was started in 1957, and it has gone through stages to where we are today. Its key mandate is just to spearhead building research that outlines how ICT will play a role in dissemination of information, and also through running an e-library, which are key components of dissemination. We also have a website that is used majorly to communicate information on possibilities of lowering the cost of building in the country. The library is majorly containing technical books, reports, policy, standards, and other catalogs of materials that enable members of the public to get to know how to go about buildings and lowering the cost of construction. The social media that is embedded into our website is for the State Department to gain quick feedback from the public, and also be able to share some of the information that is available on the building and construction industry. Another level where we integrate ICT is through equipment that you acquire and softwares, and it's good to state that the State Department has enough equipment for ICT programs. We also have ICT infrastructure development programs where members hold workshops to develop websites, e-libraries, and any other ICT program that is found necessary for the State Department. Trainings for capacity buildings, like what you see is a picture of members of the State Department who had gone for a training in Embu to learn on how to manage an e-library and the website. We also integrate ICT through research, especially through mapping of materials in various counties within the country, to enable the members of public to be able to identify sources of these materials for faster usage. That's one of the programs, and the data collection program, where we integrate use of the youth in the data collections. So some of the materials identified in the coastal region were the slats, Mazera slats, that are commonly used in the country for walling, flooring, and other paving constructions. The ninth way we use ICT through dissemination, and we integrate most of the activities that take place in exhibitions, in constructions that we find ideal, into our websites and e-libraries for purpose of communication to members of the public. That was a site at the showground last year, and it was quite popular. Some of the materials that show how technology can be used is interlocking hollow concrete blocks that saves on time, money, and they're environmentally friendly. So we collaborate with other institutions to be able to manage our programs. University of Nairobi, UN Habitat, National Construction Authority, and so on and so forth, to be able to run our program successfully. The Kenya Yearbook, we are developing Kenya Yearbook to be able to popularize some of the building materials, and that will be coming out soon, plus other information that will be developed. We also have research on plastics that intend to lower the cost of building. We also have research on ceramics to be able to industrialize ceramic production in the country. Then we also have a research on traditional knowledge on building materials and technologies that we need to integrate into our economy. And then finally, we have a program that runs on climate change, where we have developed a green building charter to be used to be able to sustain our development programs. Thank you for listening to me, and you just take a short break, take a glass of water as we usher in the next presenter. Thank you so much for listening.
I'm Engineer Gideon Mutala from Structural Department. I'm speaking about the 3 programs which the State Department of Public Works does. The Pedestrian Access Program and the Coastline Infrastructure are coordinated by the Chief Engineer Structural. The Coastline Infrastructure consists of seawalls and jetties, and the Pedestrian Access consists of footbridges. This one of the footbridges, a photo of one of the footbridges we have done. On this page, we have given a summary of the programs which are done by the State Department of Public Works, starting with the coastline infrastructure, going to pedestrian access and construction. We are also supervising fish landing sites on behalf of State Department of Fisheries, and these fish landing sites are at Gazi, Kichwa Chakati, Gomeni, and Malindi. Currently, we are doing over 25 footbridges across the country, and the 120-meter cumulative span Shakahola footbridge across River Sabaki in Mangarin was completed recently. And this footbridge is useful because it crosses a major river, and the river is invested with the crocodiles. So the residents have lost some of their people because of the crocodiles. The building projects which are ongoing include Mathare Nyao Hospital, Posta Stadium, Nyao Stadium, Kinoru Stadium, School of Government, Mombasa School of Government or GTI, Kiambu Civil Servant Housing, and upgrading of various hospitals to cater for COVID. This is another footbridge photo. Mokoe jetty photo is there. Now I want to talk about how the State Department is applying ICT innovation. It's applying ICT in all the stages of its value chain. This includes procurement, design, project supervision, payment processing, storage of drawings, communication with stakeholders, and staff management. For procurement, we do online advertisement of tenders. We also do video conferencing for pre-tender site visits. Also, the bidders are able to download tender documents and drawings from the website. And this saves on cost of printing, and also it's possible now to record what transpired in the activities. In design, we are using software Autodesk, AutoCAD, Revit, and these softwares make our work faster. We are able to save on time. Sometimes we have to do hundreds of calculations, and with software it is possible. Without software, you would have to do a shortcut and also come with an economical design. Project supervision, we are able to inspect plants, like this time of COVID when they are still overseas, and confirm whether the equipment like leads are the right ones. And this saves on travel expenses and also protects from diseases. To store drawings, and we are also in the process of procuring software, information system software, to manage the drawings. And this will make it easier to serve our clients, because when you are searching manually, it takes a lot of time. Also, manual storage, you end up losing some drawings, and you might have to get consultants and you pay them to do new drawings. We are also communicating with our stakeholders like contractors and clients, and even the public through our website. Thank you very much. That's all I was to share. We'll invite the next president.
The development and management of government buildings, what we do at the State Department of Public Works. Architectural department, it's where we coordinate most of the magic begins in terms of generating designs for public buildings, and it is constituted of architects, landscape architects, architectural assistants, and building inspectors. So in terms of our mandate, it is vested in the chief architect, who is responsible to the work secretary in carrying out the following functions. So he is responsible for developing architectural policies, strategies, and program procedures in the building industry, and ensuring compliance with Architects Quantity Surveyors Act Cap 525, which is vested in the chief architect as the chairman for the Board of Registration for Architects and Quantity Surveyors. He also serves to coordinate input from building construction consultants. This includes quantity surveyors, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, civil engineers. Then he is also responsible for advising government ministries, departments, agencies, and other levels of government on matters building and construction. Maybe as you may see on the right side is an example of one of the first buildings that were done in KICC building. And this of course was done in collaboration with a Norwegian architect, achieving our mandate. So the next building you see is the Parliamentary Service Commission office block. This we've also done in collaboration with the building and construction. So I think I'll move on to where we are coming from. I think since the 1960s, public work started off with the manual drawings, and the drawing table was the center of our design world. And on the left you see one of the buildings that we started with. This is the Harambee House. Originally it was meant for the works building, but our first president liked it and said we go and build our own up the hills where we are currently located nowadays. So then where we are, we've since moved on since the 90s gradually to the computer aided design, and the computer has formed the center of our current workflows. And on the left you can see examples of the results of that. Above is a proposed governor's office, Isiolo, which is a computer-generated image. Below is the Lamu headquarters, which is built, and it's formed a gateway to the northern region. As you can see between the two images, it will be difficult to differentiate which is actually built. And moving from there is, let's say, now where we're going. Going forward, we plan to integrate building information modeling into the core of our workflow. What building information modeling does is that it collects the information for these buildings into one model, which all consultants are able to get their information and also build up the respective designs into testing before anything moves to the ground. And once we move to the ground, the contractor is able to get very detailed information from this building model. And maybe I'll finish with the McKinsey report. What we say is one study found that 75% of companies that have adopted VIM reported positive returns on their investment with shorter project life cycles and savings of paperwork and material costs. Because of these benefits, various governments like Britain, Finland, and Singapore mandate the use of VIM for public infrastructure projects. Thank you. I'll give the chance to my design counterparts to
acting chief designer. Like we have heard, the State Department of Public Works is the single most largest consortium in the built environment. And the State Department provides design services to the MDAs and agencies. So the design department offers the following services: graphic design, interior design, and product design. The department also uses the following softwares: Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, 3ds Max, Maya Cinema, 4D, Revit, and Procon etc. to leverage on the design on ICT in the delivery of its services, like we are going to show at the end. We have also been using ICT to convene departmental and international conferences. For instance, we had the Africa Design Day that was held in April 2021, where the PS in a virtual conference attended by design practitioners and academia from 12 African countries: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Botswana, Mozambique, Togo, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Morocco, and Ethiopia, on how design can help create employment in a country. The design department has undertaken. One, we did a State Department on infrastructure office branding. We were also able to do the branding of the Surprise branch, another department, the State Department, where we created a logo for the department, as well as T-shirts and other gear for the department. We were following the COVID-19 impact on our state department, where we have a crab, we were able to use the time to refurbish and rebrand the crab, awaiting the opening of those facilities. We have also been able on a building project. The design department has prepared some 2 videos for the presentation to this Public Service Day, which will be running immediately after this. And I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank all the participants who have participated in this conference. And we appreciate so much for your patience, and thank you.
The Nairobi Railway Club was a classical heritage building constructed in 1931. It was situated at Uhuru Park along Haile Selassie Avenue. It was characterized by grand columns entrance, terracotta roof tiles and stone walls. The rear side had a recreation area with 3 swimming pools, changing rooms and business stalls. Following a presidential directive, the building was demolished between 21st of December, 2020 to 7th of January, 2021 to pave way for the construction of a Matatu terminus.